Hi Curious and welcome back. After the last farewell of the Duke of Edinburgh, husband of Queen Elizabeth II, the prince will have definitely marked space in the memory of his family and the Queen. But there is no slowing down, and the Queen must go on, fulfilling her duties just like she demonstrated only 4 days after the passing of her husband when she returns to her royal duties. But what has happened now that Prince Philip is no longer with us? What changes will be made within the royal family? Did the Duke have any special requests for after his departure? Who within the royals will have new positions and inherit new titles, and who will be given his personal belongings? Why is there once again controversy within the royal family? Stay with us until the very end to find out all the information with regards to Philip's wishes for after he had passed, but before we continue, don't forget to turn on notifications and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any of our future videos. The Queen and Philip had been married for nearly 74 years, and he is the longest serving royal consort in British history. Yet their marriage wasn't about any of its ups and downs. However, we won't be talking too much about it here, so if you want to know more, be sure to check out our previous video where we look back at the years the couple was together. When he passed away, aged 99, the news shocked the world, and condolences poured in from all around the globe, which included former US presidents and other world leaders. But in addition to leaving an emotional void in the lives of his loved ones, he has now left them the job of dividing his assets. The first analyses of royal experts suggest that his belongings would go to Prince Charles, his 72-year-old heir and firstborn son, as well as his grandsons Prince William and Harry. But who else is included, and what eccentric riches the longest living consort in history possess? Stay with us until the end to find out. The royal family now has the difficult task ahead of them to review royal residences in the coming days and to find out just how many things Philip had among the hundreds of gifts he received each year. No one in the United Kingdom, including Queen Elizabeth II, their son Charles, and possibly even the Duke of Edinburgh himself, knew just how many material possessions he had when he was alive. It might sound a bit ironic since according to the British media he was hardly a millionaire and did not have many properties of high value himself. He did have his cars, for example, and he has allegedly left his beloved ponies and carriage to his granddaughter Lady Louise Mountbatten Windsor, but we'll explain all this in detail later. Let us not forget that the Duke received gifts from many places in the world and from the leaders of different nations. This is one of the reasons why the palace staff is now having to make a complete inventory of all of the Duke's possessions to clarify the value and contents of his estate. His collections also need to be catalogued. The Duke was an avid collector, and according to sources, he literally had scissors ready in his hand to cut out political graphic jokes from newspapers, and their authors would often give him personalised graphics, which he had on display at the Sandringham estate. Adding to those displays, there were also artworks by rising talents purchased at Scottish art fairs, that ever so often Philip acquired using his own money. The modest collection that accumulated more than 140 works was used to decorate all the upper floors of the Palace of Holyrood House. Looking back, it is not clear where the photographs that he took of British birds are. He published a book with the material in the 60s, and the original photographs could be auctioned off for thousands and thousands of dollars. In addition to the valuable collections of landscape paintings, paintings of castles, they included personal gifts from painters that he admired, such as Albert Namatjira and Edward Sago. But what about his racing carriages and horses? Let us remind you that in 2011, former President Barack Obama gave the Duke a custom-made set of fell pony shanks, which are considered unique as they had the presidential seal of the United States embroidered on them. Even when the Duke of Edinburgh retired from his royal duties, it did not stop him from receiving gifts. Among the most valuable ones can also be found the ones he got in 2019, for example from Donald and Melania Trump, who gave him not only a personalized Air Force One jacket, but also a signed autobiography of legendary World War II aviator James Doolittle. He had also received a gift from Yang di Pertuan Agong, who is the ruler of Malaysia and one of the few elected monarchs on the planet. He had gifted the Queen's husband a valuable bill commemorating the independence of his country. There are thousands of examples like this, but we have mentioned these that can be considered unique pieces. even the countless number of gold and silver cigarette cases he received as presents for his wedding to Queen Elizabeth II. But we will not leave without mentioning some silver spurs that he received as a gift on a tour of Chile in 1968. Although the fate of all of these belongings has been varied, it seems however that this collection would be entrusted to the Royal Collection Trust for safekeeping and conservation, an idea that Prince Philip had himself. So Queen Elizabeth's husband has left behind a modest estate which experts estimate at over £10 million, although the official sources of the royal family have not issued information regarding the details of his belongings. However, it is most likely that most of his possessions will pass into the hands of the Queen. We say this because according to tradition, the royals usually leave all their estates in the hands of the person closest to the person who passed away, so that they will be the ones to make decisions about its distribution either among the family or included in the royal collection. As everywhere, it has to do with taxes, and let's say that decisions have to be made strategically. In the United Kingdom, inheritances are taxed at a rate up to 30%, although the Queen would be exempt from paying this tax when the inheritance is from sovereign to sovereign or from the consort of a sovereign to a reigning monarch. Although Prince Philip has wanted to have a special detail in his will to include Lady Louise. As we mentioned before, the Duke decided to leave his granddaughter a carriage and his ponies, which he enjoyed spending time with in the last stages of his life, and which were pulling the carriage with his coffin at his funeral. But what drastic changes will the royals suffer? Will Queen Elizabeth finally slow down the pace of her work and include Charles to share responsibilities with him? Well, to all this, Elizabeth has decided that since the passing of her husband, she will settle in Windsor Castle as her official residence. The monarch does not want to settle again in what has been her official residence until now, nor spend another night there, and she has no plans to return to Buckingham Palace. However, if you want to discover the official reason why she does not want to give the throne to Charles now, check out our previous video, but for now, make sure you stay with us until the very end. Both the Daily Express and the Daily Mirror have pointed out that and speculated that in the reunion between Prince Philip and Charles, when he went to visit him in hospital, his father had asked him to be the trusted voice and close advisor to Elizabeth II, one that she would need in the future. However, far from all the speculations, the opinions of the British media also interpreted the statements of Prince of Wales, in which he said, and we quote here, "My father, during the last 70 years, has given the most remarkable and devoted service to the Queen, to my family and to his country." And from these words that he said hours after the passing of his father, they had speculated that Charles became the patriarch of the family. The most senior male member of the royal family, albeit in the shadow of his mother, who has no explicit or official intention of stepping down from her royal duties and obligations, although it is likely that Prince Charles will take on some of his mother's important jobs, including, for example, meeting with ambassadors and high commissioners at Buckingham Palace. But for how long do you think this will be? Curious. However, regarding the title of the Duke of Edinburgh, the royal family already has supposedly chosen the successor, which of course required the approval of the Queen, and supposedly it is Prince Edward, as he is first on the list. But the British press suggested that it could be Prince Charles, and others suggested that the title could just even be simply not used again. It was first created in 1726 by King George I, and since then it has only been held by 5 people, all direct relatives of the monarch, who is the one to grant it. Since it does not pass automatically from father to son like others, we can just wait and see if there will be another Duke of Edinburgh. Also, let us remember that Prince Philip got the title because of his marriage to a Windsor, since the father of the then Princess Elizabeth, King George VI, granted it to him in order for the two of them to get married. Although the real problem with the title will come in the future when Charles assumes the throne. It is taken for granted that the Prince of Wales is going to make a reduction of what will be the core of the royal family when he is the reigning monarch. Therefore, it is more than feasible that, unless the Earl of Wessex and his wife and children are included in the core of the royal house, which can only be a solution for the job that previously Meghan and Harry had taken on. Although it does seem that the Queen already has a blunt solution for this. And with this, we'll leave you with a link to our video in which we will tell you why the Queen believes that Sophie of Wessex is the replacement for Meghan Markle. However, back to the above, it is because of this situation that the title of Duke of Edinburgh could be doomed to disappear, as it has already happened twice in the past. If a solution is not found to replace Harry and Meghan as working members, the Crown will only be able to rely on Charles and Camilla and William and Kate. debate. So curious, do you think the title of Duke of Edinburgh will die out again within the royal family? Who do you think the Queen will choose to inherit Prince Philip's riches? Do you think Charles is outgrown as the highest ranking male in the royal family? Let us know what you think in the comments below, and as always, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any of our future videos. Until next time.